Alright guys, so this is going to be a long, boring video. I'm sure I'll get a couple thumbs down on this one for sure. But I realized that I very often put the process leading up to the paint on the video. So I'm going to try to change that this week. This is typical here. Got some damage on this car, scratches along the quarter panel here. We have one dent right here. I have a big dent right here behind the gas door that will be stud gunning. There's some scratches on the bumper. Got a little bit of everything on this one. Some rust on the bumper that we'll be covering up. Some damage over here. We got the same damage on this side, scratches. So I'm going to show you how I prepare this. The method that I take. I got a little dent here. I got some scratches here. I got some damage here to the paint. So this will be a good job. I'm going to knock this out. We're going to go ahead and prep this car together. So this might end up being an hour-long video. I don't know. Some of you guys don't need to watch this. Some of you guys have been asking for it. Here's my hacking tools that I use. There's all kinds of guys on YouTube, and I think it's very important to differentiate. You know, we got Dave's Customs, you know, in the YouTube garage, and he's a absolutely badass custom guy. Does a lot of custom. He's there with James Freddy as far as the quality, and I'm all the way at the other end of the scale, guys, and I'm not ashamed to tell you that. You know, this is how I do it, dude. This is how I pay my bills. It's how I get a little extra money. You know, I paint bumpers and I do used car work. So I'm probably the guy that does it with a minimal amount of stuff, and there are guys out there that have a much different thought process on this and do completely different types of work. So this isn't a universal fix-all for everybody, and this doesn't cross over to every project, but for everyday used car stuff, fixing your everyday driver, that's pretty much what I do. OEM stuff. I don't do a lot of heavy collision, and there's guys that do that out there. And you know, I do the restoration stuff on the Volkswagens, and I'm doing my personal Nova, and that's a different process than we'll take today, and similar but not exactly the same. So this video is to show you the few things that I need to get the job done, which I think are the minimum things that you can have. And this is sandpaper, 180, 320, 80, 180. We got clear, we got a hardener, we got our reducer, we got a couple of reducers, we have our sealer primer, we have all our base coats. Now I have a lot of these cans are, you know, all jobs that I've done, and you know, either I made too much paint or didn't use what I mixed, and Tom's Wonderful World's coming to visit, and he'll be cleaning my cabinet out when he's here, taking all this with him. So you know, if you're a shop, you can usually always find a scratch and dent guy that, you know, could use some of this paint, and I usually just end up mixing paint up. It's hard to catalog it and look through it every day, you know, unless it is cataloged, and it's not, you know, so that's my problem. All right, here's some of the basics. We have this is my favorite hammer. It's not the best one you can buy. It's probably one of the cheaper ones, but I don't know, I like the way it feels in my hand. And I wouldn't be lying if I told you this hammer's made hundreds of thousands of dollars. I used that at Toyota for a couple of years, and I was up over 100 grand a year there, and I haven't bought any tools since then. So, you know, quality tools are, it's a consideration, or you can buy them cheap, you know, however you want to do it. This is another old tool, Mako, you know, it's I probably paid too much for it, but then again, you know, it's 8 or 9 years old. Now this thing's getting ready to fall out of it, so any day I'll plug it in and this will fall out, and you guys will be laughing at me. But slide hammer for the stud gun. You got pins. You got this is a nice block to buy, you know, it's sort of rigid. You can fold paper around it. You can do wet sanding with it. This is a skidded pad. It's a little more flexible. You doing corners or whatever, you know. Tape. I like to have tape. I use the 3M. I'm a tape waster. 2-inch tape, gotta have it. Basic guns down there, you know. I got the Developers Plus, I got my Sokola, and I have the GTI. So that's the basic stuff. Let's grab the DA, go out there and get to it. We're going to take the DA, we're going to use some 80 grit, and we're going to use some 320 and some 180, and we're going to use the grinder. So we're going to grab a disc, and we're going to try to juggle all this out there at one time. And this is my toolbox of choice, you know, for what I do. Milk crates, cheap, easy to find. They come in a couple different colors, and so yeah, you can get blue, red, and black, I think. So here we go. Get set up. This is going to be a long video, so I will warn you, because that's why I don't ever show this part, but obviously it's not doing anybody any favors leaving it out, so. Of course, I'm going to need the tripod. That's another tool you'll need if you're doing YouTube videos. First step we're going to do is 180 all our scratches out, and that includes our dog leg here and our body line, and then we got a couple dents we're going to grind and fill. portion. Now we're going to move on to the feathering out of these scratches. Okay, so we've ground these spots with a grinder. We feathered it back with some 180. I like to feather my work back a little bit before I put the Bondo on. That way you're not filling in a deep transition scratch in the paint. I have to plug the stud gun in over here. And I wanted to show this guys, this is something that I got asked the other day. The difference between using a paint stripper on a car and mechanically stripping a car. If you notice right here, it looks like bare metal. It's silver. There are spots that are bare metal here, and there's spots that aren't metal at all. Where I'm going to put my pens right here, it's all metal. You can see right here where it's shiny, that's chromate. That's the stuff that they dip the car in that gives the body the rust protection. Generally, when you strip the car with the aircraft stripper, that chromate surface is left behind. It'll appear to be metal, but it's actually it's a film of chromate. So this is why when you aircraft strip a car, you can actually wash it down with water and clean it. And unless you got some ground down repair areas where there was some body work or whatever, the car almost won't rust, you know, where the chromate's at. It will rust after a while, you know, but not like the car does when it's bare steel like this. This would react much quicker to water than the chromate section would here. So, and also if you're trying to weld a pin to this, the pin won't stick to this chromate. It won't make a ground through it. So we got all our scratches sanded back with 180. We're down to the factory sealer here. We don't have any metal except where we're going to put Bondo. And we're going to put Bondo there so we won't need to edge prime that either. I try to seal my whole repair off with either Bondo or the finishing putty. Another note on the Bondo, guys, if it's not a gold Bondo or a premium Bondo, it's not going to be safe for clear coat. Clearers will attack the formaldehydes and the hardeners and the lower grade Bondos, and it can cause some staining issues and stuff on light colors. And this would be one of the colors. White's the worst, of course. So if you think you're getting a deal on Bondo, you know, that's primarily why. And I challenge you guys to find cheap Bondo in any dealership across the country or a body shop where there's a warranty program in place. Guys that are having a warranty, or you know, they have a warranty program in place, aren't using $11 Bondo or the $8 stuff a gallon that you can buy. That stuff's made for old technology. It has to go over bare steel. It can't go over a painted surface. There's not as much rust protection in it, and it's not designed for the newer base coat, clear coat paints. We can go over the Bondo. It's probably something we need to do again. I made a video a long time ago, and we read right from the footnotes and the manual. And as far as manual, I mean the P pages in the sales catalog for Bondo. If you look in the P pages, they'll actually tell you, hey, it's not for safe. It's not base coat, clear coat safe, or it is. And there's not a lot out there that is. You know, most of the upper brands are the base coat, clear coat safe ones. And if you're buying an Evercoat product, you want to look for the Metalworks label. If it says Metalworks on it, then it's OEM safe, and it's made for the later model clear coats. Some of your cheaper Bondos are made for like the synthetic enamels and the old lacquer types. The urethanes are too aggressive for them, and it pulls the hardener out of it. So it's a little tip. Like I said, this is going to be a long, boring ass video, so we're going to go to the other side of the car. Still have the same piece of 180. Alright, over here we're on the dark side of the moon, so I don't know how much of this you'll get, and if you'll see anything. But we have some damage on this door, paint damage. So basically I'm just going to 180 the damaged area, 180 my scratches down back here. Then we'll come back with some 320 on this side, and this is going to be mostly 180, 320, and Scotch-Brite and the Comet on this side. We got one dent right here to fix. This dent's small enough where I won't stud gun that. I'll hit it with a little 80 grit and go right over the top of it. So we'll set you guys up here, and hopefully you'll see something. I don't know. It's pretty dark on this side. me. Okay, so we got our scratches sanded out. We got our dent prepped. We got our scratches sanded out. We got our bad spots sanded out with 180. We hit our Bondo spots with 80. We knocked the high spot down, knocked most of that dent out. And next we're gonna mix a little Bondo up and take care of the small dents. But first we'll do some stud gunning before we get to the Bondo. So let me get that set up. And, I don't know if we're gonna need an extension cord or not. Sometimes I can get lucky. Sorry about that. Had to dig a cord up. Completely prepared. So there we go. Here's our damaged area. See? There we go. Said you gotta find the dent, you know, and studs, they don't stick really good, so get them off easy. at all. That's the chromate that it's not sticking on top of. That's pretty acceptable for used cars right there. So let me get the grinder right here. There it goes. All right then. So I like to grind these little hot spots down. Alright, so that's it. Let's mix the Bondo up and spread the mud for love. Alrighty. There you go. Alright, so we got everything prepped and ready now for our mud. It's the mud stage. And man, it's gonna be a long one, guys. But what you want, it's what you get. We got a spreader. First we got some Bondo. This is the Bondo I like to use. It's cheap. It's cheap for me. The problem with you guys is shipping Bondo to you. It gets expensive because of the weight. I would use you know, the cheapest Bondo I would go with would be Z-Grip. I think it's the cheapest safe Bondo you can use, and that's made by Evercoat. It's in the Metalworks family. I prefer Rage Gold or the Rage Premium. It's a little pricey, you know. $50 for Bondo for some people is a little bit of a shocker. The Quantum one is probably the benchmark. It's an epoxy filler. It's an epoxy filler where most of the Bondos on the market are polyester, and the epoxy has a much superior holdout and bond to the steel. But anytime you step up in the materials, you're going to step up in the price. But to me, it's like building a house. You know, you want to sort of get the foundation done right, and everything you put over where you start depends on, you know, where you start. So if you can't afford the good stuff, just wait a week or two until you can afford it, because really the right Bondo, the right foundation is what makes or breaks the job. Used cars, you know, there's a little bit of leeway. Some of you guys are spending big money to restore your cars, and you just can't afford to compromise, man. Not at the level you guys have got your cars at, you know. You've acquired the skills to do it yourself, and that should enable you to buy the stuff that you need to do the job right, is what I'm trying to say. You know, the money saved in doing it yourself. So trying to scrimp on the materials is just cheating yourself. You always want to meet your hardener, you know, squish it around in your hand, back and forth. How much hardener to use in Bondo, you know. I saw a video the other day, really good video. Guy has some nice videos on YouTube, and he says to refer to the sheet. There's always a prescribed amount, and never varies off of heat conditions, and that might be so. That's pretty much my rule of thumb, and if I'm in a hurry, you know, I put a little smiley face on that side. So I always like to use 2 spreaders. I like to use 1 spreader to mix the Bondo and 1 spreader to apply it. That's just me. I always like to wear gloves when I Bondo too, which I don't seem to have right now, so I'm going to be having Bondo hands. Tom, look at all this paint you're going to get when you come. It's just getting too much, man. And I got full cabinets at home too, so we're going to donate some of that to Tom's Wonderful World. Tom's going to come visit next month. So that'll be good. He's going to stay for a few days, so we'll be able to hang out with him and maybe hack some cars out together. That's the plan anyway. So I'm going to have to put you on the stand here, because I got to have my good hand to spread Bondo with. So there we go. We'll get the few in this side in the frame. Now I got to warn you, I'm not the best Bondo guy on YouTube either. You know, if you want to see Bondo perfection, go to Shut Your Face Garage, Matt over there. He's the master with the plaster. So again, this is the Get It Done channel. You know, not necessarily the best finesse channel, or, you know, the finest finish channel. And I'm just trying to help you guys get it done, man. And that's what we're gonna do right now. So there we go. Without talking, let's start spreading. I like to pick it up on the spreader. So what's cash money? What should I ask for? I don't know. You're the used car lady.
Hang on, let me get your paint. You want me to start at 5 and let them make me an offer? Billy's got somebody fighting at the bid to buy one of those trucks. They really wanted 4-wheel drive, but everything they finds at the auction is, well, he keeps losing them.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll take 5 for mine. Yeah.
Ow! Shit! You okay? No. Grab that.
Alright, well there you go. That's the Bondo portion of it. I just about knocked myself out over there. And I'm going to turn this off and recover. And yeah, that hurt really bad. Don't want to see me crying twice in 1 month. But I caught my elbow right on that wall there on the good arm, the bad arm, you know. So let me catch my breath and I'll turn this back on.